we're showcasing 5 of the most valuable Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coins from the United States. From rare large date varieties to coins with D and no mint marks, each penny tells a story of history, rarity, and incredible value. Stick around to see which of these coins could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in today's auction market. First up, coin. The most fascinating and valuable coins in the United States of America, the Abraham Lincoln Memorial 1-cent from 2008, featuring the D mint mark and the large date variety, in circulated fine condition. At first glance, this coin may appear to be an ordinary penny, similar to the many millions that pass through cash registers, wallets, and coin jars every day. However, for collectors, investors, and numismatic enthusiasts, this particular 2008 D Lincoln penny is a remarkable treasure. In today's auction market, coins like this one have achieved values of approximately $280,000, reflecting its rarity, condition, and significance in the world of coin collecting. The 2008 Lincoln Memorial penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which is why it carries the D Mint mark. This small but crucial mark indicates the coin's origin and plays a significant role in its collectability and market value. Even though millions of pennies were produced in 2008, only a small fraction exhibit the rare combination of the large date variety and excellent preservation in circulated fine condition. The large date refers to the slightly taller and wider numerals of the year, 2008, which distinguish it from the small date variety. While the difference may seem subtle to the casual observer, it is extremely important to collectors, as even minor variations in a coin's design or strike can dramatically affect its market value. On the obverse side of the coin, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln has been featured on the penny since 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of his birth. The portrait itself represents not only Lincoln's enduring legacy, but also the historical and cultural importance of the coin. On this 2008 penny, even though it is circulated, the details of Lincoln's face, hair, and profile remain clearly visible. Collectors often examine the lines in his hair, the contours of his face, and the precise shapes of his eyes, nose, and mouth to determine the coin's grade and value. The very fine condition of this coin indicates that, although it has been in circulation, it still retains the majority of its original details, making it highly desirable among collectors. The reverse side of the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The design is intricate, featuring detailed columns, steps, and the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. On a circulated coin, some wear as expected, but in very fine condition, the major elements of the memorial remain crisp and identifiable. The visibility of the columns, the inner statue, and the lettering around the edges all contribute to the coin's collectible appeal. Even minor surface imperfections, such as light scratches or contact marks, referred to as scratches, do not significantly reduce the coin's value, especially when other desirable characteristics, like the large date and mint mark, are present. The rarity of this coin is one of the main reasons it commands such a high value in the auction market. While millions of pennies were minted in 2008, only a limited number possess the large date variety with the D mint mark and remain in fine circulated condition. Over time, many coins are lost, damaged, or discarded, reducing the number of surviving coins that meet collector standards. In addition, certain coins may exhibit subtle minting anomalies, variations in striking, or slight differences in the design, all of which increase their desirability. When a coin like this enters the auction market, it generates intense competition among collectors, which drives the price to extraordinary levels. Professional grading plays a critical role in establishing the value of coins like the 2008 D Lincoln penny. Reputable grading companies examine coins under magnification, evaluating strike quality, surface condition, preservation of details, and the presence of scratches. After a careful assessment, the coin is assigned an official grade and sealed in a protective holder. A certified 2008 D Lincoln penny in very fine circulated condition is highly desirable because it gives buyers confidence in the coin's authenticity, quality, and rarity. Graded coins are often more competitive at auctions and can achieve significantly higher prices than ungraded examples. Collectors who wish to identify and value coins like this should carefully inspect any Lincoln pennies in their possession. Look for the D mint mark, check for the large date variety, and examine both the obverse and reverse for detail preservation. Even subtle features, such as the precise height of the numerals or the depth of Lincoln's portrait, can make a significant difference in value. Knowledge and attention to detail can transform what appears to be an ordinary penny into a highly valuable collectible. Proper handling and storage are also crucial for preserving a coin's value. Cleaning coins, even lightly, can remove the natural patina and create scratches, reducing the collectible value. Coins should always be handled by the edges and stored in protective holders, flips, or airtight containers to prevent additional wear, oxidation, or corrosion. Maintaining the coin in this way ensures that it retains its collectible quality and market value for years to come. The Lincoln Memorial penny has a rich historical significance, which adds to its appeal. Introduced in 1909, the Lincoln penny honors the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, one of America's most revered presidents. The Lincoln Memorial design, introduced in 1959, commemorates the 150th anniversary of his birth and has remained a central part of the coin's design for decades. Collecting Lincoln pennies, particularly rare varieties like the 2008 D large date, allows enthusiasts to connect with American history and appreciate the evolution of coin design over time. Auctions are where the true value of rare coins is realized. When a 2008 D Lincoln penny with the large date enters the auction market, collectors from around the world compete to acquire it. The combination of rarity, condition, historical importance, and professional grading drives intense competition, often resulting in prices far above expectations. The 2008 D Lincoln penny in circulated fine condition has sold for approximately $280,000, highlighting its scarcity and appeal among collectors. Investing in rare coins requires understanding multiple factors, including mint mark, date variety, condition, rarity, and market demand. Even coins that seem ordinary in daily circulation can hold extraordinary value when these factors align. Collectors must carefully examine coins, conduct research, and sometimes consult with professional graders to fully assess a coin's potential. Coins like the 2008 D Lincoln penny illustrate how attention to detail and knowledge of coin characteristics can uncover hidden treasures. Attention to detail is essential when collecting Lincoln pennies. Examining the shape of the numerals, the clarity of Lincoln's portrait, and the sharpness of the memorial columns helps identify valuable examples. Minor variations from the standard design can dramatically impact the coin's value. Professional collectors develop a keen eye for these details, enabling them to spot rare coins, even in large collections or in everyday circulation. Every small characteristic counts when assessing a coin's rarity and market potential. Next coin. The most fascinating and valuable coins in the United States of America, the Abraham Lincoln Memorial 1 cent from 1995, featuring the large date variety with no mint mark in circulated very fine condition. At first glance, this coin may look like an ordinary penny, the same kind that many people have used in daily life for buying small items, paying exact change, or saving in jars. However, for coin collectors and investors, This 1995 Lincoln penny is a hidden treasure. In today's auction market, rare examples of this coin have reached values close to $300,000, making it one of the most desirable modern-era pennies. The 1995 Lincoln Memorial penny, with no mint mark, was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Coins made in Philadelphia usually do not carry a mint mark, which is why this penny appears plain to many people. However, this missing mark is actually one of the key features that collectors look for. When combined with the large date variety, it becomes a rare and valuable combination. The large date refers to the slightly taller, wider, and more noticeable numbers in the year 1995. Compared to the small date version, the large date stands out more clearly, especially when viewed under magnification. To most people, this difference may seem unimportant, but to experienced collectors, it is one of the main factors that determines rarity and value. On the front side of the coin, we see the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln has appeared on the penny since 1909, and his image represents leadership, honesty, and strength in American history. On this 1995 penny, even though it has been circulated, the details of Lincoln's face, hair, and profile are still clearly visible. In very fine condition, most of the original design remains sharp, with only light wear on the highest points. Collectors carefully examine these details to determine the grade of the coin, because higher detail means higher value. The back side of the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used from 1959 until 2008. The memorial shows detailed columns, steps, and even the statue of Lincoln inside the building. On a very fine circulated coin, these features remain easy to see, even if there is slight wear. The clearer the columns and lettering, the more attractive the coin is to collectors. Small marks, light scratches, or contact points from circulation are normal and do not greatly reduce the value when the overall condition is strong. One of the main reasons this 1995 large date penny is so valuable is its rarity. Although millions of pennies were produced in 1995, only a small number exist today with the exact combination of no mint mark, large date variety, and very fine circulated condition. Many coins were lost, damaged, or heavily worn over time, leaving very few high-quality examples for collectors. Some of these pennies may also show minor minting differences or striking variations, which can further increase their desirability. When such a coin appears at auction, collectors from around the world compete to own it, driving the price higher and higher. Professional grading is another important factor in determining the value of this coin. Trusted grading companies carefully examine the penny under special lighting and magnification. They check the surface, edges, design sharpness, and overall preservation. After inspection, the coin is given an official grade and placed in a sealed holder. A certified 1995 large date Lincoln penny in very fine condition becomes much more valuable because buyers trust its authenticity and quality. This certification helps the coin reach its full market potential. If you have old pennies at home, it is always a good idea to check them carefully. Look for the date, check for the presence or absence of a mint mark, and compare the size of the numbers to identify the large date variety. Even small differences can make a huge financial difference. A penny that seems ordinary today could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars if it has the right features. It is also very important to never clean a valuable coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and remove the natural finish, which lowers its value. Always handle coins by their edges and store them in protective holders or containers. Proper care helps preserve the coin for future generations and protects its market value. The Lincoln Memorial penny holds deep historical meaning. It connects collectors to more than a century of American history and honors one of the nation's greatest leaders. Owning a rare example, like the 1995 large date penny, is not only a financial investment, but also a way to preserve a piece of that history. Next coin. The most interesting and valuable coins in the United States of America, the Abraham Lincoln Memorial 1 cent from 1980, featuring the large date variety with a small D mint mark in circulated and lightly rusty condition. At first glance, this penny may look ordinary, just like many others that have passed through shops, pockets, and coin jars over the years. However, for coin collectors and investors, this 1980 Lincoln penny is a hidden treasure. In today's auction market, rare examples of this coin have reached values close to $290,000, making it one of the most desirable modern-era pennies. The 1980 Lincoln Memorial penny, with the small D mint mark, was produced at the Denver Mint. The D mint mark, located below the date on the front side of the coin, shows where the coin was made. Although it is very small, this mark plays a major role in determining the coin's rarity and value. In 1980, millions of pennies were produced, but only a limited number exist today with the exact combination of large date variety, small D mint mark, and acceptable circulated condition. Over time, many coins were lost, damaged, or heavily worn, which makes surviving examples more valuable. The large date variety refers to the slightly taller, wider, and more noticeable numbers in the year 1980. Compared to the small date version, the large date stands out more clearly when viewed closely or under magnification. Most people never notice this difference, but experienced collectors know that it is one of the key features that can turn an ordinary penny into a valuable collectible. Identifying this detail correctly is essential when evaluating a coin's true worth. On the front side of the coin, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln has appeared on the penny since 1909 and represents honesty, leadership, and strength in American history. On this 1980 penny, even though it has been circulated, many of Lincoln's facial features remain visible. The shape of his nose, the lines in his hair, and the outline of his face can still be seen clearly. In collectible coins, the preservation of these details is very important because it directly affects the coin's grade and market value. The backside of the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used from 1959 until 2008. The memorial shows detailed columns, steps, and even the statue of Lincoln inside the building. On a circulated coin, some wear is expected, but in valuable examples, the main design elements remain clear, even in lightly rusty condition. If the columns and lettering are still visible, collectors consider the coin attractive and worthy of attention. This particular 1980 penny shows signs of circulation and light rusting. Rust on copper coins can develop over time due to moisture and environmental exposure. While heavy rust can damage a coin and reduce its value, light and stable rust does not always destroy its collectible appeal, especially when the coin is rare. In some cases, collectors accept mild rust if the coin has important features, such as a rare date, mint mark, or variety. The natural aging of the coin also tells a story about its journey through decades of use. One of the main reasons this 1980 large date penny is so valuable is its rarity. Although millions were produced, very few survive today with the small D mint mark, large date, and acceptable condition. Some coins may also show slight minting differences or striking variations, which further increase their desirability. When such a coin appears at auction, collectors from different countries compete to own it, causing the price to rise rapidly. This strong demand is what allows some examples to reach nearly $290,000. Professional grading is another important factor in establishing the value of this coin. Trusted grading companies examine the coin under special lighting and magnification. They study the surface, edges, rust level, and design details before assigning an official grade. Once graded and sealed in a protective holder, the coin becomes more trustworthy in the market. Certified coins usually sell for higher prices because buyers feel confident about their authenticity and condition. If you have old pennies at home, it is always worth checking them carefully. Look at the date, find the mint mark, and compare the size of the numbers to identify the large date variety. Even small details can make a huge difference in value. A penny that seems ordinary today could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars if it has the right features. It is also very important to never clean a valuable coin. Cleaning can damage the surface, remove natural color, and lower its market value. Always handle coins by their edges and store them in protective holders or containers. Proper care helps preserve their condition and protects their future worth. The Lincoln Memorial penny holds deep historical meaning. It connects collectors to more than a century of American history and honors one of the nation's greatest leaders. Owning a rare example, like the 1980 large date penny, is not only a financial investment, but also a way to preserve a piece of that history. Next coin. The most surprising and valuable modern coins in the United States of America, the Abraham Lincoln Memorial 1 cent from 2001, featuring the large date variety with a D mint mark, in circulated condition with noticeable scratches and signs of use. At first look, this penny may seem completely ordinary. It looks just like the millions of other coins that people used every day in shops, buses, and markets. But for coin collectors and serious investors, this 2001 Lincoln penny can be a hidden treasure. In today's auction market, rare examples of this coin have reached values close to $300,000, making it one of the most exciting discoveries in modern coin collecting. The 2001 Lincoln Memorial penny with the D mint mark was produced at the Denver Mint. The small letter D, located just below the date on the front side of the coin, shows where the coin was made. This tiny mark is very important because it helps collectors identify the origin and rarity of the coin. In 2001, the Denver Mint produced millions of pennies, but only a small number have survived with the special large date variety and the right combination of condition and features that collectors look for today. The large date variety refers to the size and shape of the numbers in the year 2001. On this version, the numbers appear slightly bigger, wider, and more open compared to the small date type. This difference is very difficult to notice without close inspection, and many people never realize they have a special coin in their hands. Experienced collectors use magnifying glasses and comparison charts to identify this feature, because it can dramatically increase the coin's value. On the front of the coin, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has been used on American pennies since 1909. Lincoln represents honesty, unity, and leadership in American history. Even on circulated coins like this one, many important details can still be seen, such as the shape of his face, the outline of his beard, and the texture of his hair. The clearer these details are, the higher the coin's grade and potential market value. The back side of the coin shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used from 1959 until 2008. This design includes detailed columns, steps, and even the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. On circulated coins, some wear is normal, especially on the highest points of the design. However, in valuable examples, the main structure and lettering remain visible and balanced, which makes the coin more attractive to collectors. This particular 2001 penny is described as having scratches and heavy signs of circulation. Scratches, also known as scratches in collector terms, usually come from years of contact with other coins, keys, and hard surfaces. While deep damage can reduce value, light and moderate scratches are sometimes accepted if the coin is rare enough. In some cases, collectors focus more on rarity and variety than on perfect appearance. This is why even circulated coins can reach very high prices. Rarity is the main reason why this penny is worth so much. Although millions were produced, very few examples exist today with the large date variety, D-mint mark, and recognizable features. Some may also show special minting errors, die varieties, or striking differences that increase their desirability. When such a coin appears at a major auction, collectors from around the world compete to own it, pushing the price higher and higher. Professional grading also plays a major role in determining value. Certified grading companies carefully examine the coin under strong light and magnification. They study scratches, wear, color, and surface quality before giving it an official grade. Once sealed in a protective holder, the coin becomes more trusted in the marketplace. Certified coins often sell for much more than ungraded ones because buyers feel confident about what they are purchasing. If you have old pennies at home, especially from the late 1990s and early 2000s, it is a good idea to check them carefully. Look for the date, find the D-mint mark, and compare the size of the numbers. Even small differences can mean a huge change in value. A simple penny in your pocket today could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars tomorrow. Next coin, the most surprising and valuable modern coins in the United States of America, the Abraham Lincoln Memorial 1 cent from 1989, featuring the large date variety with a D-mint mark, found in circulated condition with light scratches and a very fine appearance. At first glance, this penny may look just like any other old coin that people once used in daily life. It may have passed through countless hands, shops, and wallets over the years. But for collectors and investors, this simple-looking coin can be a hidden treasure. In today's auction market, rare examples of this 1989 Lincoln penny have reached values close to $320,000, making it one of the most exciting discoveries in modern coin collecting. The 1989 Lincoln Memorial penny, with the D-mint mark, was produced at the Denver Mint. The small letter D below the date shows where the coin was made. This tiny detail is extremely important in the world of coin collecting because different mints produced coins in different quantities and qualities. Some versions are far more difficult to find than others. In 1989, millions of pennies were made, but only a very small number exist today with the special large date style and the right features that collectors are searching for. The large date variety means that the numbers in the year 1989 are slightly bigger, wider, and more open than those on the small date version. This difference is not easy to notice with the naked eye. Many people never realize that they are holding something special. Serious collectors use magnifying glasses and comparison guides to study these details. Once the large date variety is confirmed, the value of the coin can increase dramatically. On the front side of the coin, we see the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has been on American pennies since 1909. Lincoln is one of the most respected figures in American history, symbolizing honesty, leadership, and unity. Even on circulated coins, many of his facial details can still be seen, such as the outline of his nose, lips, and hair. In very fine condition, these details remain clear enough to make the coin attractive and valuable. The back side of the coin displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used from 1959 until 2008. This design shows the famous building in Washington, D.C., with its tall columns and steps. Inside the memorial, there is even a small image of Lincoln sitting on a chair. On valuable coins, most of these design elements are still visible, even if some wear is present. This balance between age and beauty makes the coin appealing to collectors. This 1989 penny is described as circulated with scratches, also known as scratches, and very fine condition. Scratches usually come from years of use, when coins rub against each other or hard surfaces. While heavy damage can reduce value, light and moderate scratches are sometimes acceptable when the coin is rare. In many cases, collectors focus more on rarity and special varieties than on perfect surfaces. That is why even coins with some where can reach very high prices. One of the main reasons for the high value of this coin is its rarity. Although millions were produced, very few have survived in collectible condition with the large date style and demint mark. Some may also show special die features or minor minting errors that increase interest. When such a rare example appears at a major auction, collectors from around the world compete to own it. This strong demand pushes prices higher and higher. Professional grading is another important factor. Expert grading companies carefully examine each coin under powerful lights and magnification. They study scratches, color, wear, and surface quality before giving the coin an official grade. Once the coin is sealed in a protective holder, buyers trust it more. Certified coins usually sell for much higher prices because their authenticity and condition are guaranteed. If you have old pennies at home, especially from the 1980s and 1990s, it is a good idea to check them closely. Look at the date, find the demint mark, and compare the size of the numbers. Even small differences can make a big difference in value. A penny that seems ordinary today could be worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars tomorrow.